Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in and spending a little time with us. Wednesday, the 5th day of February, has been a bit on the wintry side. What about those winds? Very unpleasant. A lot of folks, though, dealing with situations much more unpleasant than ours. We did see some significant rainfall during the overnight. Kept a lot of us awake for an extended period of time. But a lot of folks to the north saw well more than an inch of ice. It's caused a lot of significant problems while we kind of skated around it with temperatures holding well above the freezing mark, glad to say. Now tonight and in the early morning hours tomorrow, especially as temperatures dip below freezing, well, we've got a few words of warning due to some freezing drizzle, black ice, which is very possible at this time. We'll update your forecast. Those are two most immediate concerns weather-wise, with a few others still down the road. As far as this big system we've been talking about for the course of the past several days for the weekend, glad to tell you it looks to be a snow bear, but no big significant amounts, more so than anything we've seen thus far, maybe even on the lighter side in comparison to a couple of big snows we've seen, or sizable snows. But that doesn't mean it's still going to be doesn't mean it's not going to still be a wintry mess. We've got a chance of snowfall in more of the forecast than we don't, so we'll get to all of that in more detail in just a second. Well, it was signing day, National Signing Day 2014 is winding down. A local man got to get in on the action, signing for a Kentucky college today. We'll take you to a bit of the ceremony. We'll talk a great deal about happenings in the Transportation Cabinet on yesterday. Some other state legislature news. A missing man in McGoffin County. A preliminary report tonight about an individual that's not been seen since late October, if I'm not mistaken. And the family has become obviously worried. I'll tell you what I know about that, and several other reports to get to before the next half hour is over, what's left of it. Now, a reminder for you, first of all, I mentioned it last evening about a daytime closure scheduled for the Oakley part of 867 in McGoffin County tomorrow in order to repair a slide. The Kentucky Department of Highways says they are planning to close around the 6-mile marker on Route 867 tomorrow. 7:30 till 3 is the estimated closure time. There will be no detours posted. Most everyone will know their way around, but it's knowing that it's going to be there instead of having to backtrack that will be the key. So there's your reminder, 7:30 in the morning at mile marker 6, and they hope to have the work completed by the time the big yellow school buses are rolling tomorrow. Hopefully they'll be rolling tomorrow. That's another story in and of itself. Also, weather-related, there were a few other slides, not to mention that one, which happened a few days ago. But during the overnight hours and early morning hours, rescue and other emergency personnel responded to a couple of small slides in other situations, I believe most of which have been remedied. The Licking Valley RACC co-op is telling us that they did experience some power outages to the tune of a few thousand, actually, more than 1,000 in Lee County, 750 nearly in Menifee County, Wolfe County seeing some broken lines as a result of the ice, and several other areas. No widespread outages here in the viewing area of Sayersville. Morgan County did see about 519 outages. They've been working very hard all day to get those back up and running. A bill that would recognize October as Anti-Bullying Month in the state of Kentucky was approved in the Kentucky Senate today. Senate Bill 20, sponsored by Senator Jared Carpenter of Berea, would also make the purple and yellow ribbon a symbol of anti-bullying awareness. The measure was the result of 2 years of hard work by middle school students in Madison County. And the Kentucky State Senate approved a measure 23-15 that would abolish the state office of treasurer altogether. It's been discussed now for quite some time, and now Senate Bill 58, which is sponsored by Senator Chris McDaniel of Latonia, would amend the state constitution to dissolve the state treasurer's office at the end of the current term. McDaniel told lawmakers that the office, as others believe, has become obsolete, saying today the office performs very few functions that are not also performed by the governor's finance administration cabinet. McDaniel also said the duties would be transferred to the finance cabinet and state auditor's office. If the measure goes forward and becomes law, the question will be posed to voters for final ratification in the 2014 general election this November. It now goes to the House of Representatives for their consideration. And also on our state's Capitol grounds, yesterday's House Transportation Committee proved to be fruitful for classic car enthusiasts and those driving vehicles 20 years of age or older. House Bill 94 is sponsored by State Representative Hubie Collins, and they say that it will have a systematic way of lowering taxes on those vehicles that classic car enthusiasts have reinvested sometimes a great sum of money into, or for the average driver of a vehicle over the course of 20 years. By freezing the rate once it reaches a certain point and then lowering it by so many percentage points till it finally reaches a flat $250.
Misunderstanding on this bill. I've had calls, people say, why are you raising taxes on these older vehicles and all this? If they would read the bill on the committee substitute, we took any questionable language out of there having to do looking at trade-in, all this, matter of fact. But all this does is says after the last time they're in the book, 20 years old, we will freeze that price and thereafter depreciate it each year 10% until we get down to the minimum, which is $250. Reading this came about, I got some rumors from different people that revenue said, hey, we're losing a lot of money on these old cars because look at the Barrett Jackson auto auction on TV. Man, they're bringing lots and lots of money, but there's no comparison. All these people use these cars for parades and so on, and they've got a lot of money in them, but they've spent the money. So therefore, this is the reason we came up with this. And if there's any question, we'd be glad to answer.
Bill, Madam Chair.
Motion there, second. And got a motion second, any questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Chairman, can you tell us if, just to clarify, that the antique automobile owners, the different clubs around the state, they're okay with this piece of legislation?
I've called several and talked to them, and after we explained it, there's no problem. Their problem was they thought we were raising the taxes.
Right.
When yet we're trying to lower them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative St. Ange.
Just for clarification, would you say that it's accurate that the current method of assessment on vehicles 20 years and older, does that fall under the classical car category?
It doesn't necessarily say classical cars, but any classical car would be fit under that 20 years old.
Okay, so this in fact actually lowers it for those
Yes.
vehicles which are not classical cars then?
It lowers it, would lower it for any
any
vehicle that was 20 years old and older. It would.
But most especially for a car that's has not been restored for classical purposes, but is just being used.
All of them are included.
Thank you, sir.
Representative Steele.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to thank the sponsor of the bill. We just sat through an A&R committee meeting, House Bill 272 that Finance brought up that did not include classical cars. I'd like to thank you because I've been getting calls. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for including this and putting this in, and this will clarify it and take care of those owners and our constituents.
House Bill 94 passed with a nearly unanimous decision. And in a spinoff, so to speak, of the movement that was proposed by state legislators and school officials in regards to helping students in coal-producing counties get some funds to compete, it all kind of also goes back to the University of Pikeville becoming a state college, has gained a little ground in legislation that would help college students from Kentucky's coal-producing counties complete four-year degrees in their home areas with a little help. A lot of help, actually, from a Kentucky Cole County College completion scholarship has now cleared the House Education Committee in Kentucky. House Bill 2 is sponsored by House Speaker Greg Stumbo and Representative Leslie Combs of Pikeville, and it would fund scholarships mostly for students living in and attending school in the state's coal-producing counties in both eastern and in western Kentucky. The bill would provide 5% of total scholarship funds for students who want to attend an approved program outside of those counties, and scholarships available to eligible students under House Bill 2 for the 2014 and 15 academic year would total a maximum of $6,800 per academic year, not semester but year, $2,300 for students of a public extension campus or regional post-secondary center in those counties, or $3,400 a year for those students eligible to attend programs located in Kentucky but outside the coal counties. The legislation would also go, I understand, to create student service grants for Kentucky and technical colleges located in the coal regions. Grant amounts would total $150,000 per institution per year. under House Bill 2. Local headlines after this.
Attention candidates, for whatever you want to get your name and message on, shirts, caps, pins, matches, cozies, and more, call Avavian Deaton, and she can tell you about her campaign special. That's 72 caps and 24 t-shirts delivered to your door for a limited time low price of just $3.99. Call Avavian, 349-3835. It's definitely the pie that sets it apart from everything you've ever known, tasted, or loved about a Reese's Cup or a DQ Blizzard. Real Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, creamy vanilla soft serve, and a real crunchy graham pie crust that gives it the texture and taste you'll never forget. But hurry, because it's the Blizzard of the Month at your Sayersville Dairy Queen. From time and money saving services like their overdraft protection, telephone and online banking services, to finding the right home, college, or car loan, to personalized checking and savings accounts designed around your exact needs, Sayersville National Bank is still your best choice and the same locally owned and operated bank that's been looking out for your family's financial health since 1902. Sayersville National, restoring the piggy bank population one savings at a time.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
I have only tonight some limited information, but more to come, and we're also hoping some of that information, or some additional information, I should say, comes from the general and viewing public in regards to a missing Magoffin County man whose family says he's not been seen or heard from for months.
Very few details, and actually the note that I have here that was left in the box on the door of the studio here at the newsroom doesn't include a callback number, so we're asking Wilma K. Kraft or other family of Jackie Mullins to call us with that number, and we hope to talk to them soon and possibly get some other information. But I did speak personally with a member of Jackie Mullins' family just in passing a couple of days ago, and did learn that he's not been seen since late October, last seen on Lakeville Road here in Magoffin County. Now, this is an undated, but I do know an older picture of Jackie, I'm told. But he is 48 years of age, weighs 160 to 180, stands around 5 foot 10 inches in height, has blue eyes and blonde hair, which may be shaved. We will have more at a later date. I also know that family members had not filed an official missing persons report as of that time. They have, however, spent weeks and months exhausting all avenues of searching for him on their behalf, checking hospitals, other facilities, anywhere and everywhere that he may have been without being able to contact family, but it's all been to no avail. If you've seen Jackie Mullins, contact us at the newsroom for the time being. We'll get some other information, a callback number. Wilma K. Kraft is a contact that we have been given. But as of right now, that's all the information we have on a Magoffin County man who's not been seen since late October. We've still got other top news to come, including a Magoffin County man who signed his letter of intent today, one of many people involved with National Signing Day. We'll get to that in a few moments. Right now, a few updates and reminders on this evening's Magoffin Farm Bureau-sponsored community calendar. Just a quick reminder or two, actually, the soup bean dinner is still on as scheduled at the Elk Creek Church for this Friday, 11 till 5. You can eat with them. You can come and get it and pick it up and dine out, or they'll even deliver for the delicious meal. Call 349-8637 or 205-4914. The annual Sweetheart Banquet at the Burning Fork Community Church on 114 behind the BP there is this Saturday, 3 till 8:30. Call to make reservations, 349-6400. A wonderful steak or chicken meal, all the fixings. You will leave full and content and happy for the atmosphere that you have been in. It's a wonderful evening. Reservations are a good idea, 349-6400. and an indoor photography workshop is still set for Monday the 10th at our own McGoffin County Extension Office, 349-3216. And you've got just a little more time. I haven't talked to our friend Leola Cole lately, but a little more time to make any eyeglass donations that you can by simply dropping off any that you don't use, don't need, at the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center. They'll be carefully collected and make their way overseas to some folks who have no other means of getting any to use. And for now, that's how you get information just like that, including birthdays and anniversaries and the like, on the show for free. Mail it, phone, fax, email, Facebook, or just simply drop it off here at the newsroom at 507 East Maple Street, just above the Sagersville Post Office. Funeral service announcements this evening brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home and McGoffinCountyFuneralHome.com, with listings tonight coming from their facility in honor of 79-year-old Ada Gray Atkins Montgomery, who passed away at the age of 79 on yesterday's date. Ada Gray was married to Norma Lee Montgomery, who preceded her in death. She's survived by her son Jimmy and daughters Della Minix, Tammy Wright, and Valerie Montgomery. Visitation begins this evening and continues all day tomorrow and until services. They'll start Friday morning at 11, once again all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial is going to follow services at the Cook Cemetery at Cripple Creek. Once again, Ada Gray Atkins Montgomery, passing away at the age of 79. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new McGoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400.
Bill, I reckon I'll take my pig back.
Ain't your pig.
Yeah, it is.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is, and I can prove it. Ma, I just sent a picture of our missing pig. Tell everybody it's time to start feuding.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I guess ain't gonna be no feud. Real nice picture, though.
Well, put it on Instagram.
Appalachian Wireless is 4G. Great pictures, video, text, and talk. Bigger savings, better service. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
Hi, I'm Don McFarland. I am an attorney in Sayersville, Kentucky, and I'm here to serve you and meet your legal needs. If you have been injured on the job, if you are interested in receiving your disability or your SSI benefits, if someone's negligence has caused you trouble, basically, if you have been in a car wreck and you've suffered pain, then pick up the phone and call Donald Wayne, 349-9000.
Check out our daily specials that get even better after 4 o'clock, only at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. On Tuesdays, get an all-white 3-piece breast strip meal with your choice of 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $4.39. And it's only $3.89 after 4 p.m., only at your Sagersville Lee's.
You may have heard that today was National Signing Day. If you've been anywhere in the house or out of it, you heard that indeed it was National Signing Day. Now, as far as the University of Kentucky is concerned, there were doubters after the 2-10 season last year that anything was going to happen to be able to allow Coach Mark Stoops to keep the class of 2014-15 that he had already recruited last year. However, he held on very tightly to them, and 4-star Seneca defensive lineman Lloyd Tubman, 4-star quarterback Drew Baker, wide receivers Dorian Baker, Blake Bone, Thaddeus Snodgrass, Stanley Williams, defensive backs Mike Edwards, Kendall Randolph, Darius West, linebackers Dorian Hendricks and Nico Farios, and the list goes on to total 28, a total of 28 players in the class of 2014 for the University of Kentucky, one that is still being touted as one of the best in the nation. But tonight our focus is on that of a McGoffin County young man who is a senior at Paintsville High School, who has earned his seat at the table, so to speak, at the University of Pikeville, and was one of a large class of the 2014 signees today on campus.
Robert Staggs and I, 4 years ago, we decided to make a football change with our head coach and our coaching staff. And we made a trip to Middlesbrough. And we started and stopped with the search for one person. We had our sights set on the all-time winningest football coach in Kentucky's history. And at first, I think he was taken back that, he was preparing for a state championship football game. So the timing was not ideal on his part, but we knew that we wanted to attract the very best football coach. And I remember sitting down and we had lunch in Middlesboro with Coach. Dan didn't know, his son certainly didn't know. His son was a senior playing for a state championship at Bell County. And we made a commitment. I said, Coach, if you will come, we will build the facilities that you need. We'll increase the scholarships that you need. We'll increase the staff that you need. We'll increase what we need to do to build a winning football program.
To get our kids for the next 4 years of college, or 5 years, whatever happens to take. Let's give these people a good. I don't have a long speech. I invited my minister here today, so I know what long speeches can do. But anyway, I was glad he came here today. But at this time, we always bring in a few kids in January that's either unhappy or they wish they came here in the first place or what they've done. Coaches recruit to stay up with them, but we have 13 young men that's decided they want to come to the University of Pike. At this time, I want to let these 13 come up and let's have a picture taken with them.
Among those signing today for U-Pike, 18-year-old Prater Hilton, son of Johnny Ray and Devin Allen Hilton, a 4-year starter and team captain at Paintsville High School. Now, part of his resume reads that he took part in the National Signing Day as he committed to the University of Pikeville Bears football program. Well, that's the new addition, obviously. What you may not know, he's 5'11", weighs 225. He plays linebacker, selected as an all-area EKC first team, honorable mention Mountain team, all-district first team, honorable mention all-state, has helped lead his team to an 8-4 record this season and a tremendous turnaround from the Tigers last season under Coach Joe Sherrico. And today, Prater signed his letter of intent officially, flanked by members of his family with the University of Pikeville. We wish to thank them very much for the video supplied to us. Maybe soon we'll be able to get a few words from Prater and his family, but it was off to practice in a hurried fashion as soon as they left the stage. We wish to congratulate him for a job well done on the football field and off, and we look forward to seeing this local man on the field at the University of Pikeville. Congratulations. Prater Hilton, one of several signees today for National Signing Day at the University of Pikeville to play for the Bears. Well, now we're going to wrap it up with your Licking Valley RECC forecast, and I referred to it earlier. Well, let me not put the cart before the horse, as I often do. A low today of 29 degrees and a high of 41. We're currently back at 29 and holding steady. If you're catching the early show, that's not going to last too awfully long, as we're going to fall by another 7 degrees to a low of 22 degrees. Now, we've seen winds at the newsroom peak at 14. I've come to learn that I feel a bit sheltered here on East Maple Street in regards to winds. When you get out a little more in the open, I think they blew a little harder than 14 miles per hour earlier today. So we keep that in mind. Right now we've got a 5-mile-an-hour wind, which makes it feel like 24 degrees out there, while it's actually 29. Significant rain over the course of the evening did go to cause some slides and a few issues, but nothing of an injury-related matter, we'll say. I'm very glad to report, and very also glad to report that everyone knows we, of course, did manage to escape all the ice and wintry conditions that a lot of folks to our north did not. Here's what's in your forecast, and it's not as bad as what we have been making it out to be. I'm glad to see some changes in the forecast tomorrow. Looks to be relatively calm and dry and cold. 31 degrees for your daytime high. We'll see a light northwest wind, 3 to 5 miles per hour, but basically just mostly cloudy, mostly gray, and mostly winter for tomorrow in that respect. No precipitation Thursday, start to finish. We should be done at least for the short term, says your Licking Valley RECC forecast. Friday, we'll see a little sunshine return with a few clouds above, a high of 34, a low of 21, partly sunny, followed by a 20% chance of snow, I think after 1 o'clock, technically Saturday morning. when we'll see temperatures hit up to around the 37-degree mark Saturday. Now, that will, of course, be accompanied by some continued precipitation. That will, of course, go back and forth, we believe. A little snow early, then rain as temperatures get above freezing to the tune of about 5 degrees. Then maybe coming back to snow Saturday evening. We've been talking about a big winter wallop for the weekend that has slackened as far as the intensity goes. However, we do still expect to see some precipitation. Some of it will be snow. Accumulations, well, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But a low of 26 with continued precipitation falling, and that will be snow, of course, by the time Saturday night rolls around into your Sunday. 34 is where I expect to be, with a chance of some rain and snow continuing. 16 following 34 for your low on Sunday. And check it out. Winter is not going anywhere. 29 and 18, partly sunny, still a small threat of some snow on Monday. Tuesday, more of the same. 32, 23, cloudy, a 40% chance of rain or snow. Rain or snow in the forecast all the way through this time and a little thereafter next week, and maybe throughout the entire month of February, the way we're going. The bottom line is tomorrow is going to be calm and cold. Friday, a little sunshine, still around 34 degrees. Your weekend, we're going to see some white and wet stuff. How much? We'll tune in tomorrow, and we hope to have a little better of an idea. Thank you for being a part of the program. So glad you could tune in and join us for this evening, and we'll have more news like tonight that you'll only see tomorrow on More of Your News Today.